that what happened? I mean, there's a lot that happened. I mean, you want to get into is this therapy? You want me to really go into it?
Very serious, troubling news that broke about Justin Roiland. He was arrested on felony domestic violence charges as well as a false imprisonment charge for an incident that took place in 2020.
Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that connection didn't lie. But so we're here to talk about Justin Roiland, the creator of a lot of great animated series. I was gonna say anime because I just watched a whole bunch of anime, but a lot. What? Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you can say anime technically.
Is animation? I guess that's gonna be a topic for another discussion. If animation is anime.
Well, anime spelled anime, right? But animation is anima. I guess.
Yeah, your private school education is not helping you out here.
Yeah, what education?
Who needs education? All right, but we're here to talk about animation. Who was actually regarded as one of the kings of animation because he just put out so many popular shows. And we're talking about Justin Roiland. Justin Roiland is the creator of Rick and Morty. He also is the creator of Solar Opposites. He also did create Koala Man, which I didn't know that Hugh Jackman was a voice. Yeah, that's so wild.
And he's also the co-founder of his own game company.
That's right. What is that game called? And I know it's a gun. I know it's like talking gun.
No, it's called Squanch Games, but the game is called High on Life or something like that.
Oh, is it? But it's about alien guns, right? Because I saw a video on it where the voices. So each gun has a persona, right? And then
yeah. Every gun has basically the voice of Morty in it.
Right, that basically. Actually, everyone sounds like Morty when it comes to Justin Roiland. But we're here more so to talk about not his accomplishments, but his scandals that has taken place recently. As of January.
I don't know if you're considered. I don't know if it's like a scandal. It's not a scandal. It's like.
Well, I mean, I guess
proven.
it's more like a dethroning. I don't know what would you consider it?
His downfall. It's his downfall live in action.
Implosion.
Implosion, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, we also hear stories about James Gunn. I mean, luckily he's gotten his job back at Disney, but DC snapped.
That's a huge difference because James Gunn, like his allegations come from ages ago, right?
No, I mean this was something that happened 2020, and I know it was a domestic
for James
abuse.
Gunn.
No, 2020 was for Justin Roiland.
No, I know, but I'm saying for James Gunn, it was not the. It's not the same thing because.
I've seen people get canceled for things they did, even in their past, no matter what, right?
Yeah, but James Gunn didn't get canceled. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he technically got let go from Disney originally, and then DC snatched him up, and then Disney was like, "Oh, so sorry," took him back. I mean, if we could just go, this is the focus on Justin Roiland, but if we were to focus on so many people that got canceled for so many different reasons, like Roseanne, and I mean, look at okay, I'm a little bit upset because it involves my community, but J.K. Rowling, you know what I mean? Nobody's canceling her. She's still pumping out video games, movies. She seems to have some kind of plot armor.
Well, she's rich, so she can ignore all of it.
but Justin Roiland must have a good amount of money,
Yeah, but she's not under arrest, like Justin. She's not facing any felony charges.
Yeah, it's like hate crimes, right? It's not really criminal.
Yeah, she's saying all this stuff, and people are pissed off. But at the end of the day, it's not like she's broken any laws.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is I feel like
unlike Justin Roiland, who on their hand apparently is facing 2 domestic violence allegations.
Yeah, I mean, but he pleaded not guilty too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Your Honor, I did not shoot the man. I am not guilty.
I mean, Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the law is going to decide that. But, like for him specifically, it's like, like there's the whole innocent until proven guilty situation. Sure. But I mean, like, I feel like people have been canceled for a lot worse, like putting out bad music or, doing the wrong movie and, they've canceled their careers. This is, of course, is a lot more detrimental because of course it's a character.
Well, okay, let me read to you 2 allegations that did come to surface that are like highly profiled. Right. So one is he was DMing Ali Gortz, who was the former Mad Magazine editor, right? He was texting her, quote unquote, can you write a song about 9 of different size and ethnic origins hanging above your face? And then in the lyrics describe how they each splatter you with semen. And then the other allegation is that he was also DMing an anonymous Twitter user who claims that when they began corresponding was underage, and he texted her, or she DM'd her, you should run away from home and go into slavery, you stupid faggot bitch, JK. Beep.
But I mean, but what about? I mean, throwing JKs. I mean, that negates it, right? No, I'm not here to condone his actions. I just feel like there's so many sides to a story.
Sure, but I think the point I'm trying to make is you're saying that like people have been canceled for a lot less, and I'm saying no. I think this is pretty clear, cut and dry, as to why it's understandable why he's receiving all of this backlash.
Well, there is zero tolerance. I mean, it's definitely unacceptable. I don't feel that his behavior was acceptable in any shape, form. I do feel that, if we're to look at it from a lens of the cancel culture, it's sad to see someone's career take an upward trajectory, and then all of a sudden all of it be derailed by these are serious allegations, but to see it all kind of be canceled because so there's a fine line between being popular and breaking the law, and then being not popular and breaking the law, right? Like if this happened to anyone else, right, they would of course be charged, and then of course maybe they would serve some time in jail. They wouldn't lose kind of their whole empire that they had built up for themselves. Not saying that it's acceptable. I'm just saying that if we're to look at it from the cancel culture's perspective, I feel like celebrities are looked at very harshly in terms of their behavior. But I mean, look at Trump. I mean, Trump hasn't been canceled completely, and he's, of course, I mean, just based off of the articles I've read, it seems like he's broken quite a bit of laws himself.
Well, that's what allegedly. This is the main difference, is that there's actual physical evidence to pointing towards Justin Roiland suggesting that he did commit the crimes, right? Right. Whereas a lot of the other cases, a lot of these fall under speculation. Yes, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of people saying, oh, he did this and that, and oh, he may have, texted so and so a threat or something like that, right? But
what if they ended up being so from playing devil's advocate, what if they had been false allegations? People just come forth because they want to attack a celebrity. Here's an opportunity. Right.
But then the thing is, I think it's a little bit harder to just prove that these are false at this point.
Right.
That's the thing. It's I think, if it was at the very beginning, sure, you can say these are all, purely these allegations are purely speculatory. Then you can say that, he's innocent until proven guilty. But I mean, with more and more people coming out and all these new allegations coming out and accusations, it's building up to a point where it's gonna start turning into, okay, he's still innocent until proven guilty, to he's guilty, when is he gonna be punished for it kind of thing.
Well, I mean, the law will definitely punish him, if he did any wrongdoings. I do find it very unique. So, of course, there's people, have squeaky clean images, such as so Henry Cavill has a very harsh rule set for himself. He doesn't like kissing actresses with tongue. He doesn't want there to be any misinterpretations. Even for Millie Bobby Brown when he did Enola Holmes 1 and 2, because Millie Bobby Brown is so used to being friends with all her co-stars, she speaks to them, she shares a lot of personal details, but Henry Cavill refuses to. He also has elected himself to not date publicly because he feels that there could be situations like that where you date the wrong person and they're gonna blast you publicly, or they're going to make some type of heinous allegations. I don't think these ladies are doing that with the case of Justin Roiland. I think Justin Roiland, he seems like in his psyche that he might have a few screws loose, personally. That's I mean, to write and concoct a show such as Rick and Morty, I feel like some people have to go to the dark side for that.
Not necessarily, because what about Dan Harmon?
Dan Harmon, I mean, he was before, on Community, he was let go of Community because he had such a harsh work ethic.
He had a very I would say it's more chaotic work ethic.
Chaotic and a little bit
but the thing is that shouldn't be. It's Dan Harmon. I mean, Dan Harmon is an eccentric person as well, but you don't see
him have allegations, right?
Having him being put in the spotlight like this.
Right, yeah. And when the funny thing is, we have to talk about specifically the situations that are happening behind the curtain, right? They're talking about Justin Roiland not having really any presence, not even going to the writer's room, not being involved.
And then exactly. And then when you bring in all these other extra things, especially the behind the scenes productions of Rick and Morty, right? They were saying by season 2, he was already becoming distant in the writer's room.
Yeah, and then didn't have the same relationship after the first season. It was the first season, right?
Yeah, and then season 2 he was becoming very mentally, physically distracted. Season 3 they said he stopped showing up completely.
Right, and it was funny as I was looking at the article, I have to see which article that was, but they were also saying that the only reason why they knew he was there at office was because they could hear his dogs barking, and they could also see his remote control car that had a microphone attached to it.
Yeah,
that's wild. I don't know, that's kind of beyond. So it's his personality just is kind of like that. I mean, some people have.
I don't think it's a personality at all. I don't think the personality can necessarily, excuse. I mean, it doesn't excuse him
for it. It's just, he treads that line of kind of being very eccentric, and when you tiptoe from the left side to the right side over that line, it's oops, I mean, just going back to his text messages, to say those kind of vulgar type of text messages and throw out the JK, he probably thought oh, hey, I'm just kidding, right? But the damage has been done. The text messages are out there, allegedly, if they are his text messages, which, I guess no one has any reason to lie unless they're gonna get money out of it. But I mean, those the ones you just read were super vulgar, inappropriate, but I mean, what do you feel in terms of the stance of that information being private, that's shared between you, I mean, even if your girlfriend had broken up with you, do you think that it's appropriate to be oh yeah, when we were together, he said this, he said that, he shared this, even if he is a celebrity?
If it helps, I think in the regards to if it amounts to evidence for a crime, right?
I see.
I think that's. I mean that and you gotta think like the reason these allegations, these text messages even came to life is because there were allegations or felony charges filed against him in Orange County, right? I mean, yes, he was released on bail and he pleaded not guilty, but that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't absolve him from the crimes, right?
It doesn't necessarily absolve. It doesn't make him guilty by accusation, but it also doesn't absolve him from any guilt either.
Right. Yeah. He's in that trial process. And
it's not like I guess what I'm trying to say is like, these things didn't just come out of the woodworks, randomly.
Sure. Yeah, of course. It's definitely something that was kind of put through, since 2020, right? Through the trial, gone through these different. I mean, and obviously, for the case, you're going to need evidence, and if there is witnesses that come forth, then obviously, he has to defend himself if that's what he needs to do, or he has to accept that, those are the choices he made.
Well, that's the thing too, right? He's not really defending himself either. From his stance, he's been mostly quiet.
I feel like in those situations, you definitely need a PR person.
Well, he has a PR team and a legal team.
Yeah.
Right. I think they were in crisis mode since 2020.
Right. Keep it around. I do know that the person or the news outlet that did release a lot of this information was NBC News. They had they were the first ones to pick up the story and put it out there, and that always makes it a little bit tough when information like that is in the news and you're exposed.
Yeah.
And people find out, and then of course anyone who catches wind of it who may have been part of like Justin Roiland's circle, right? Like employees, all these other things, they all comes to light, and then everything blows up in itself. So I mean, I can kind of see how like one thing will just trigger another to another, then it almost seems like it never ends, right? At that point.
Well, eventually it does end, I mean, I understand why he is quiet right now, right? Because it's probably the best defense. It's probably the best defense in this case, because anything you say could be used against you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. They all say, "Oh, as soon as you get arrested, Miranda rights, okay." But this situation is also very interesting because Rick and Morty is also deciding to continue for 2 years. And Justin Roiland believes, prior to all of this, in interviews, he believed that he was irreplaceable. He was the voice of both main characters. Like, how can they replace him? And I think right now they are looking at a few people to audition, right?
Yeah, and then I guess they also have to kind of explain why the choice, the change in voice in the show as well.
Well, supposedly the person that they have in mind, who all the producers and all, I think Adult Swim is looking toward, even Cartoon Network, right? Because they're the parent of all this. I think they're looking at a specific individual, and maybe Jomar can put up some information or even just examples of him. But I feel that for Justin Roy, I mean, the voice actor who's going to replace him, I don't know if they can mimic the same personality. You can mimic the voice, but can you mimic the same mannerisms, the same personality? Like can someone be a Jeremy Roiland?
Nope, because he doesn't exist.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, what would you even imagine if someone like could act like you and be like you, even just for like an hour or 30 minutes?
That would be pretty insane. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
Usually, I think in cases like this, most people are concerned, like, when a co-creator or a showrunner leaves the scene, right? Usually, most people are concerned about the quality of the writing.
Yeah. Well, there was no writing involved, supposedly.
But yeah, I mean, from what I was reading, it doesn't look like Justin Roiland was really contributing these last 3 seasons.
Right. Yes, and I feel like that the show was in name only and title only, right, and voice only. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was also pulling away from Solar Opposites, and of course, the startup.
Yeah, and then the other thing too is like for Koala Man, like what's going to happen to his other project, Koala Man and Solar Opposites. For Koala Man, I heard that some of the the writers didn't even meet him, even on Zoom.
Right at all.
Yeah. So
I also heard that as time was progressing, he was also having a hard time delivering his voices. So on Solar Opposites, they did write a character for him, or maybe he wrote a character for himself, and he did the voice. And because he was always late for deadline, they killed the character off at the end of the episode.
Oh.
Yeah, the writers just killed him off. I think it was episode 3 of one of the Solar Opposite episodes. But I guess that's what you do as a writer.
I guess that's what happens. So remember, kids, stick to deadlines.
Okay, yeah. Finish your homework. Make sure you make your deadlines.
Yeah, otherwise your favorite character is gonna get killed off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess going back to it, like I said, I'm not condoning anything that he did. I mean, he definitely had broken the law. It is such a shame to see. Like, how would you feel if Rick and Morty had ended? What if this killed the show? I mean, I don't know if you're a fan as much as I am. I really like the show. I mean, I could watch Rick and Morty.
I would have been fine with it, honestly.
Yeah, see, that's you. I wonder, if anyone is watching this, let us know in the comments what you would do without a Rick and Morty show. Would you be happy? Would you be sad? I would like to know because
honestly, I would just be indifferent about it, really.
Yeah, you would be, and you don't watch Solar Opposites either.
I don't watch Solar Opposites or Koala Man.
So
and I've watched Rick and Morty, but I'm not caught up to date.
Right. You're not as like for me, I'm just like, oh yeah, I like to look at it, I like it to pick it apart.
But I will say I am a huge fan of Dan Harmon's work, so I will be sad that another of his shows is ending.
Oh, poor Dan Harmon. R.I.P. Well, I'll give him your regards.
What do you mean R.I.P.? It's not dead.
Well, I mean, we'll see how these next 2 seasons. That was
they signed a 90 episode long contract. Yeah. So they're obligated to write 90 episodes, right?
Right. Which, I mean, I think Dan Harmon can do no problem. He'll have an easy time.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to know if the voice can be the same as Justin Roiland,
or will you even notice?
I don't know. I mean, I saw some of the clips of the person like doing the auditions, and maybe not the auditions, but mimicking the voice, and he sounds pretty darn good.
Okay, well,
I think
you think he'll nail it?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll nail it, but I definitely think that he'll be able to pull the.
You think he'll be able to embody the essence of Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Well, actually, he probably could, because honestly, I feel like a big part of it is the writing itself. So.
Well, do you think that people could do like things that Seth Harmon could do? I mean, not Seth Harmon. I'm sorry, Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane in terms of voice.
Yeah, I mean,
I think so. I think it is possible. I think it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because there's this actual guy who looks and sounds exactly like Peter Griffin.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
we got to see that clip. That clip is.
Yeah. There's a guy that goes to like these Comic Cons and conventions, right? But his entire cosplay is just Peter Griffin because he looks like it and he sounds like him.
I would love to see that.
So I think it is entirely possible. I don't think the voice is really going to be much. I'm going to go on a limb and say the voice is really not going to be much of an issue. If depending on like what you're why I guess it also depends on like why you're a fan of the show of Rick and Morty in the first place, right? If it's just like the dick jokes and the fart gags, then
slapstick humor,
then maybe the voice will present a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're there for like the overall theme and the recurring plot lines and the callbacks to earlier seasons, that involves the writing, I don't necessarily think is going to impact the viewing that much.
I think
But that's a guess.
But I think that's the reason why, for a lot of people, they're looking to see what's going to happen next, because there is a lot of, speculation, because not only is like Justin Roiland the voice, but he also is connected to the show in itself. And, people who don't believe in those values are people who believe that he did wrong. You know what I mean? Like if they already have accused him in their minds, I mean, they're going to turn away from the show, and that could be a good number of people that are just like, I'm done with this movie, or this show is done with me, because I don't support any of that behavior. Some people might feel that way,
even though they already cut ties with him.
I mean, I don't know if that's always...
I don't think that's going to be that number of people. I mean, just look at Hogwarts.
Hogwarts,
the video game Legacy.
Oh, Legacy. Is it good? I seen a lot of gameplay,
I hear it's really good, but a lot of people, are against it, or people buying it because
because of J.K. Rowling.
Because of J.K. Rowling invented the series.
Yeah, and then of course,
and she gets royalties, I guess. So
like, don't support her and her money billions. Don't support her.
Yeah, but she didn't break any laws.
Right, and that's why she is not canceled.
And that's why she's not canceled.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the whole cancel culture, I don't think there's a definitive formula that would be like, hey, you're canceled. But I've seen people be canceled either by time or by accusation or by other means.
I don't know. Do people even stay canceled for long?
Some people
or do people even stay canceled at all? Like,
I've never seen anyone come back from a cancel.
Like,
I mean, lots of people, right? Like,
I'm trying to think. Who's
Jessie from Saved by the Bell? She got canceled because she did Showgirls. I was looking at that. Her career was kind of derailed. Roseanne, I mean, obviously her show was canceled because of her the hate speeches that she's done.
I don't know who those people are.
You don't know who Roseanne is?
Do I watch Saved by the Bell?
I mean, well, Jessie's from Saved by the Bell.
Oh.
But Roseanne is from Roseanne. But
I don't know who that is.
I mean, Kanye West, he got canceled-ish.
That's it's hard to say.
Yeezys are gone. I mean, he doesn't even own Yeezys.
Yeah, the Yeezys are gone, but I mean,
and he got divorced from Kim Kardashian. That's like the saddest thing when you think you have it all. I mean,
he's lost a lot,
but he's not canceled.
I don't know, honestly. I feel like I still see him in the headlines every now and then.
Yeah. Well, funny enough is that Kanye West was one of Justin Roiland's buddies that he brought to the office.
So was Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson, I mean, that's the funny thing. You can see people and they do these things. I mean, he's dated all sorts of people and probably damaged a lot of individuals, but people still love Pete Davidson,
Who has he damaged?
I mean, he isn't he's dated all these people, and a lot of people would see it as a negative thing, but because it's Pete Davidson, like, oh yeah, it's Pete Davidson. He's a stud, man. He just has Ariana Grande and who's that girl from Underworld? I don't remember her name.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Kate Beckinsale, and I felt like he had dated so many high-profile women. I'm like, what are they all seeing this dude? I guess they all say funny, yeah. Well, I mean, and Kim Kardashian, dude.
Yeah.
So, I don't think, like I said before, there's a direct formula to cancel culture. I think that you just gotta be careful.
It always starts the same way, though.
Scandal.
Yeah, there's like some sort of scandal or allegation or lawsuit or even an arrest, is made, and then from out of nowhere, you have all of these people on the internet digging up like these old ass like
Yeah,
interviews
50
he's
years
done, you know, from like 10, maybe 20 years
Take
ago.
things out of context.
That is well, I mean, yeah, taken out of context a lot of times, but it's also sometimes it's just like, you know, the most random thing too. It's like for Justin Roiland, people are finding like these old interviews that he's done on podcasts from like 10 years ago. And it's like, how do you even find these
those
things?
Where's the screenshots? How you find the
Like, how do you even find Justin Roiland like from 10 years, from over 10 years ago, right? Like, Rick and Morty's not that old.
Justin Roiland 10 years ago. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Yeah, thank you, robot Skynet, for digging up that information for me.
Yeah.
I will use this information wisely.
If robots could cancel people, I'm sure they would totally do it. Like if he's like, okay, let's cancel this guy.
If the day robots can cancel humans will be the day we start World War.
You versus the robots, for example. Yeah. Which also our ChatGPT podcast also will be up there as well. So I do find this situation very interesting. I think more so because I'm a fan of the show. Like I said, I don't support anything that Justin Roiland has or is guilty for. I just feel bad, you know, like things change, you know. I'm not really one for like, oh wow, you know, this big change is happening. It's such a bummer. So I guess at the end of the day, this is reality, and you know, he did some wrongdoings 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, and you know, after they said that after Koala Man had released, like no more than I think 10 days after, like everything hit the fan, and then he was canceled.
Everything was canceled.
But yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know if you think that the voice actor who's going to be replacing Justin Roiland will do a really good job, and you know, just let us know if the name Jeremy Roiland sticks in your head.
Yeah.
Thanks.